All right, so I started not to speak on this situation, but I feel like it's a situation that needs to be addressed. Now, yesterday at the gym, I experienced an incident of probably, I would say, white privilege or, maybe even racism, or maybe the guy was just an outright jerk. But you be the judge. So, it's my first day back in the gym all year. And when I walked in, I noticed that the gym was unusually crowded. Now I know that it's the first of the year, so everybody has their New Year's resolution to work out more and go to the gym. So I notice around every time January, that's the case where the gym is unusually crowded. So I walk in, I do my little 10 minutes on the treadmill, and then I go to the free weight room, where it's the flat bench, the presses, the leg press, squats, and they got a couple of cable machines in there too. Specifically, the cable flies. Now, the cable flies is, when there's a machine that has two parts. It's probably about 10 to 12 feet apart. And on one side there's a cable, and on another side is a cable, and you grab both sides and you do like this doing flies, working the chest, right? So I walk in there. First, I want to hit the bench. Now, all three bench press machines are taken. So I walk up and see one of the guys, black brother. I was like, can I jump in with you? Because I really wanted to hit that chest first. He was like, sure, sure. So, we go in, about 5 or 6 sets, and after he finished what he was doing, he was already working out. So he was like, cool, man, I'm going, you got it. So I finished, hit about three or four more sets. And then I said, okay, I want to do some cable flies, right? So the cable fly machine is right next to the wall. Like it's about 3 feet from the wall. So you got very minimal space to grab the cables and step forward so you can get the maximum stress on your chest muscle. So you're supposed to step forward a little bit so you can get that tension on your chest. So when I'm walking up to the cable machine, I see a guy standing in the middle of the cable machine, but he's right in front of the mirror. So mind you, the cable machine is like 3 feet away from the mirror, and he's standing in front of the mirror, and he has some dumbbells. So sometimes some people might do a superset where they use the cables and then they pick up some dumbbells and do some curls or whatever they're doing, right? So I walk up to him behind him and I see him in the mirror. So I instantly point to the cables, like both of them. I say, "You using them? You right there?" He was like, "Nah, I'm good." So I adjust the cable machine. The wheel was on the bottom, so I lift the wheel up to the top, go to the other side, lift the wheel up to the top, and I'm about to do some flies, but he's standing right in front of the fly machine in front of the mirror. And he's doing, some lat raises with the dumbbells. You do like this. And so he's standing horizontal and he's doing like this. So I said, okay, I let him finish the set before I, step in, grab the cables and kind of step forward to get the motion on my chest. So we finished the set. I grabbed the cables. I do about a quick set of 20 with the 10 weights on it, just to warm up the chest. And so when he finished his set, he had moved to the lat pull down machine, which is actually connected to the cable machine, but it's on the other side. So he's not in the way. So that's why I was able to step forward and do my lat, my cable flies. So then his homeboy, when I finished the set, his homeboy, they alternating. They doing lat raises and then they'll go to the lat pull. So they alternate. I see what they're doing. So when I finish my set, it's a rest period, about 30-second rest. So his homeboy comes, stands right in front of me, and grabs the dumbbells and start doing lat raises. So I said, okay, I'll wait till he finish, and then grab the cables and step forward where he would be, and move to my next set. So when he finished, I'm about to grab the cables, and I grab the cables. Then the other guy who was there for us comes, stand in front of me, and grabs the dumbbells. So I say, because I can't step forward and do my set. So I say, hey, yo, bro. Now, mind you, it's a white guy, bald head, kind of built or whatever, kind of tall. So I said, excuse me, man, can you just slide over a little bit so I can, do the cable press? So he looks at me and said, well, this is my last set. I only got one more set. And so the way he said it was like, forget you. So anybody knows gym courtesy. If you are using free weights and somebody's at a machine where this machine doesn't move, he can easily take those dumbbells and move to the side or go and stand in front of another mirror. But he says, this is my last set. Now, I've never encountered this before. So most people know gym courtesy. Oh yeah, my fat bro, let me move out your way, because he know I can't take this machine and move it anywhere else. So he looks at me and said, well, this is my last set. So I said, so I let go of the cables. I said, look, man, this area right here is for the cable flies. There are many other mirrors. You can easily move to the side or go to another mirror. And he looks at me like, and starts doing the cable, doing the lat raises right in front of me. So I say, okay, we good. So I grab the cables, so I'm not able to fully step forward and get my full range of motion. But I was like, okay, well, I'll do as little as I can, just to let them know, okay, well, look, all right, that's how you want to be. We'll just stand right here and be real close to each other. Now, I like, if I'd have really stepped forward, what I supposed to do, I'd have actually been hugging him when I'm doing the cable flies. But I said, okay, well, I'm just gonna give him enough room where I can do the cable flies. But I intentionally made it so that my hands is gonna, he gonna feel me kind of brushing up against his back, because only thing you had to do was move 3 feet over, and you would have been good. So now he's doing the lat raises, I'm doing mine, so I'm frustrated, but I ain't letting it show with my face. So after I'm still constricted doing my fly. So after he finished the lat raises, he start doing this. Shoulder shrugs, right? And breathing all hard and, making it seem like he working out hard. So he wasn't doing that at first. So I know he's intentionally doing this to kind of get on my nerves, right? And so there's a couple of Asian ladies right there looking, and I know they seen it. There's a couple of other people, and I know it's his homeboy who was working out with him. He's seen the activity, and people look at, people are watching in the gym. So I know everybody like, all right, man, that dude know he wrong, right? So nevertheless, I don't let it bother me. I finished the set. He finished his set. And mind you, once again, the cable flies like 10 or 12 feet. So you can easily walk around. But what he do is, after he finishes his set, he pick up the weights and walk right, real close to me through the cable machine, and goes and put the dumbbells back on the rack. So I say, okay. So then I do another set, right? Do another set. Now I can fully step forward and get my full range of motion. And so now his homeboy comes. His homeboy comes and picks up the weights. Now, mind you, I'm standing in the middle of the cable machine. So it's probably like 4 feet on one side of me and 4 feet on the other side. So this guy picks up the weights in front of me, turns around, and starts coming towards me really close. So now I'm like, okay, let me just let you know that you in my space. So as he's walking by, I intentionally take a sip of the water, but I made sure that he kind of ran into my elbow with his neck as he passed by. Now, I didn't stick it out real hard and do it like that, but I made sure it was right on time to let him know, okay, if anybody walks past you and they touch you, you know that they are too close. You know what I'm saying? So that happened. He didn't stop. I didn't do it hard enough for him to stop. But then I just had to say, and just breathe and do my exercise. Now I didn't let it get to me. I'm trying to not let it get to me. So I'm still steady working out. So I see them behind me. They go to another machine. And I'm like, okay, I really want to say something to this guy because everybody knows gym courtesy. If you are standing in front of a machine and somebody wants to use that machine and you got some dumbbells or some free weights or a curl bar, you instantly move out the way. Now, I don't know if he was new or what, or he just wanted to be a jerk. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, man, that's that white people privilege stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't feel like he got to respect me, or, he don't feel like, I'm respect me as a man or as a weightlifter or whatever. Weightlifters know you respect. It's already crowded, so he could have easily moved 3 or 4 feet to the right or left, right? So I finished the fly set. I'm already thinking, okay, man, these white folks are already starting. Now, mind you, it's one day after Martin Luther King Day. Now, many people probably don't want to admit this, but a lot of people, white people, may not like the celebration of Martin Luther King. And I'm like, man, come on, you starting this white supremacist, white privilege activity right after Martin Luther King Day. You know what I'm saying? And some people, that's what they'll do, unfortunately. Now, so I go to the chest press machine where you put weights on both sides, and it's not a free machine. It's actually just a chest press machine. So I'm doing a couple of chest presses, and so this other white guy, he comes. Now, mind you, I think people seen the interaction. So that's why I think maybe God sent them to me, or they was just doing it to say, look, man, I seen that, man. We ain't all like that, right? And so the white guy comes up to me. He got tattoos, he got sort of, a bandana on. So I can tell from just knowing people, he probably had a kind of a rough life, or maybe even been to prison. So he asked me, say, yo, brother, how many sets you got, how many sets you got right here left? And I was like, bro, honestly, I just started, man. So I probably got about 5 left. But you can jump in if you want to, because mind you, it's crowded. So once again, that's gym courtesy. I say, yeah, you can jump in if you want to. He's like, all right, man, I got a couple of more sets of curls, then I'm going to come in. You know what I'm saying? So I see him working out. He's working out with like 3 or 4 other guys. And so I do a couple of sets of presses. And so as I'm resting, another young white guy comes up to me. Young white guy, probably like 20 years old. So he asked me, hey, man, how many sets you got left? I was like, man, I got about 4 sets left. You know what I mean? He was like, okay, cool. So when I'm talking to him, I noticed a cross on his neck. I said, okay, you a believer? He said, yeah. I said, me too. I said, yeah. I said, how long you been working out? He said, now mind you, now my demeanor is intentionally changing because in my mind, from that previous incident, I'm thinking, all right, man, forget these white folks in here. Basically, I'm being honest. I'm like, forget. So now my mind is intentionally changing. Like, all right, yeah, let me change my mind. I said, yeah, bro. How long you been working out? He said, man, about 3 years. I worked out a lot in high school when I played football. Oh yeah, what high school you went to? He said, I went to Princeton. Yeah, I graduated about 2 years ago. So we chopping. I said, okay, so what you doing now? He said, well, I work at Hershey's Ice Cream, and I want to, take some classes so I can get, certified in something and possibly work at Griffles. So I said, okay, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Keep up the good work. So then he asked me, he said, what do you do? I said, well, man, I'm an author. I'm a speaker. I'm a publisher. I work in mental health field. I also got a radio show, a podcast. He's like, what? You do all that, man? You actually write books? I said, yeah, man. I just try to stay busy. Also, I'm a minister, too. And so by that time, we talking, the guy who had asked me to jump in, he had already done a set. And then one of the young boys who was with him was on the machine. And so when he heard me say minister, he hopped up and said, "Oh yeah, what kind of minister?" I said, church ministry. He said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm in a ministry too. I'm with the Hope Center." I said, "Yeah, the Hope Center, I think I heard about. What's that?" He said, "Well, the Hope Center is like a recovery ministry. We got 3 houses. I'm in the house called the Dunn's house, and we got another men's house and another women's house." And so we started talking about that, and then the other guy, I was like, "Okay, well, I'm celebrating 4 years of recovery in November myself." So the original guy with the bandana came up and just gave me that, like, "Man, congratulations." I said, "Yeah, man. Yeah, thank you, yeah, man." So I'm asking him, "Well, how can I get somebody into your house that may need, some help with recovery?" He said, "Well, you gotta sign up online. It's an online application, and I got the director's name if you want it." So me and him started kicking it, and we exchanged numbers, and we once again started talking about recovery. I found that they had been in there 7.5 months. Talked about a little bit about their story. So then I realized, because anybody in the weight room, if when you in your groove and you in your bag in the weight room, you don't want nobody, kind of talking you to death, because next thing you know, your momentum, your adrenaline, your pump is gone, and then you got to start all over. So I said, "Oh, hey, look, brothers, look, I know, what I'm saying, let me go ahead and get this last set in, because I know once we start talking, next thing you know, we forget we working out." And so everybody laughed or whatever. So then I finished my set, and then I, move on to the next machine. I gave all the brothers dap, "Good to meet y'all," whatever. So I'm walking away, I'm feeling good. But one thing, because once again, people watch around the gym. People know. So I looked around for those 2 brothers, my 2 white brothers, I call them, who kind of was being, I don't know what the word to use. You choose the word. Whether they're being jerks, or whether they're being racist, whether they exercising white privilege, whatever you want, you tell me if I'm wrong. I looked around for those brothers just to show them, okay, look, I'm not like that. I don't have no ill will toward anybody who treats me with respect and dignity like everybody should be treated. So I look around for them, and they gone. They out the gym. And so I just had to think about it. I was like, the devil almost let them people steal my joy. But God sent 2 other white brothers with kind hearts who were believers to let me know, okay, don't get in that mindset, Richard, because anybody knows me from the past, I always just see acts of racism, and I always sometimes overly analyze. So you tell me if I'm over analyzing this situation, but it was something joy to my heart. So then, like, my workout went good. I stopped another Hispanic brother. He had the bulging chest. I'm like, "Yo, man, what's your chest workout look like, man?" I've been trying to get my soul. He started giving me pointers. Said, "Well, really, I stopped benching for a year, and I just used dumbbells." Blah blah. So we talking and kicking it. We laughing. Call him Buddha. You know what I'm saying? So I shook his hand. Kept that working out. So I'm feeling good, because once again, I almost let somebody take me to a place where I don't want to be, which is having malice, having vitriol, having disdain for a whole group of people based on the actions of one person. And so I continue to work out, and then so I see the brothers about to leave. They packing up their bags, the brothers from the Hope Center about to leave. So I was like, "Man, let me take a picture with y'all." And that is the picture that you see on the thumbnail. And that is the picture I posted on Facebook, just saying, okay, it was a blessing to meet some brothers who are early in their recovery and able to give them some hope and encouragement. So, we took the picture and we chopped it up a little bit more. And actually, it was like another Arabian girl. She looked like she took the picture for us. So it's just like literally almost a love fest now. But I have to just thank God for him allowing the other brothers to come and interact with me in a respectful and a dignified manner, as opposed to the way, those other brothers interacted with me, like, whatever, like, and whatever, nigga, basically, what I'm saying, whatever, I ain't got to move out of your way, even though there's a whole full gym and I can easily take 3 steps to the side to get out your way so you can do proper cable flies, I'm not gonna do it because whatever the reason is, and I've already kind of stated what I think the reason is. Either he was a suspected white supremacist, as Tariq Nasheed say, or he was exercising his white privilege, or he just made him an all-out jerk. Maybe he was new to the gym and didn't understand the protocol, but he couldn't have been new because he had a kind of build that let you know he'd been working out for a while. But nevertheless, things went good, and I finished the workout, and I was able to come home and really look at life like, thank you, God. And, I definitely have no disdain for anybody of any race. And I would hate to say, like, it sounds so bad when a white person says it, so I won't say it like, well, I have a lot of white friends. That's almost equivalent to say, if you have to say that, then, it almost seems sort of like you're trying to overcompensate for, some beliefs that you may have against that person. So I always say, well, I got a lot of, I don't like when white people have to say, well, I have a lot of black friends. What does that mean? So I'm not going to say I have a lot of white friends, but I do have, I have a lot of associates of all races. But it's that minute, it's that micro aggression, passive aggressive actions towards, people that I've learned to overlook. I'm just like, okay, man, you ain't. But this day just almost took me to that place where, I could have easily, went another way with it. And it probably would have went bad because there's a lot of weights around, and it was going to be 2 against 1. But I seen some other brothers in there that I knew, so probably wouldn't have went bad like that. But it's just those little things that you notice. And even today, and I'm gonna end it with this. Even today, I was walking out of the post office. White lady comes in behind me. So I hold the door open for her. We walk in. I do my business. She do her business. I walk out, and the same car that she got in, a young white lady was sitting in the passenger side, and they're parked right next to me. So my driver's side is right by her side. So I walk out the door, and I walk right past her car and look her in the face, go into my car, and she instantly look at me and then looks down at the daggone door handle or the door to make sure. Like, literally, I know that's what she was doing because I've experienced it. So like, she looked at me and she literally looked down at the at the lock to make sure it was locked. And I just had to shake my head. Like, lady, if I wanted to get you, that lock is not going to help me. I can bust the window or whatever, But so at the same time, I'm getting in my car. I guess it's a mother or whoever it was. They walk in and she looks at the door and she unlocks the door then. But it was just so funny to me just to see that. And those are the little things that you notice. When somebody looks at you and see you're close to them, they automatically checks their lock. There's a little bit of prejudice. And by prejudice, I mean she prejudged me as someone who would want to attack her. But, I left and just had to shake my head. But those are the things that, since we just celebrated Martin Luther King Day, many people don't realize that, just like I said yesterday, that a lot of people go right back to practicing the same racism that they celebrated Martin Luther King for in his quest to eradicate that racism. So if anybody knows those two gentlemen at the gym, the bald head guy and the little short stocky guy with the hair, you let them see this video. Gold's Gym, January the 16th, Richard Taylor. They show them my picture and they'll know, who they talking about, because he know what he was doing was wrong just by the fact he started doing shoulder shrugs. Now, he had did shoulder shrugs the whole time. But when I need the space to properly do my cable flies, now he wanted to add that to his regimen. But nevertheless, peace and blessings to everybody. 919-587-7782. Thank y'all for watching these videos. I really appreciate that. Y'all have a blessed day.